All right, so you've been at this for a while and you feel like you should be a lot further ahead by now. What's going on? What's up? Rafael Cortez here, back on the Entrepreneur Mindset series. The topic I'm going to talk about today, it's maybe a little touchy. I know it's going to rub up some people off the wrong way, but I think it's important to talk about it, all right? So maybe you've been an entrepreneur for the last couple of years. You jumped into a project, into a business, into something new, months ago, years ago, and you feel like you're in stagnation. You feel like your progress is kind of halted. Maybe you reached that goal that you want to reach, and now the whole thing maybe became a routine or it's borderline boring. So here's the thing. When we start off, when we jump into entrepreneurship, usually we're coming from a space that's more limited, right? And we want to expand that space, but we're still bringing in the thought process and the context that we learn in that space. So the goals that we set off at the beginning, although they seem big and maybe hard to attain at the beginning of an entrepreneurship career, they become realistic in due time. Why? Because you're taking the actions, you're going through the process and making things happen, right? So as you go through that, if you stick with the same mentality, if you stick with the same size of goals, you're gonna hit a period of stagnation. You're gonna hit a period where you feel like you're not making any progress and you don't understand what's going on. Maybe you have some revenue coming in, this business that I wanted to create, it's already built. I got my side hustle and it's already giving me money, and I got all these things going on that I was just dreaming about 2 years ago. And now it just doesn't seem to be enough. So you may be riding the same wheel for months or even years, right? So that means that your original context has changed. The original way that you used to see things now got rewired inside your head. So your thought process is different. Now the stuff that used to excite you because they were bigger goals at their given time, they now bore you. They just seem smaller, and they don't even feel like a challenge anymore. As you start conquering challenges one after another, your skin gets thicker, right? Now you have this bigger tenacity to go after things because it's just a byproduct of being an entrepreneur. You get that thicker skin, you get the experience, and now you're ready for bigger things. That's evolution, all right? So you have evolved. If you've been at it for a while and you've seen results, you're gonna get bored if you stay in the same circle where you're at. That's the beautiful thing, and it can be the sad thing too, but it's a beautiful thing about entrepreneurship that you have to move on, you have to expand your thinking, you have to stretch your own self and your abilities, your skills, your desires in order to stay on that edge of the game. Otherwise, this is a very zealous environment, right? It's gonna put you out of business real quick if you stay very comfortable for a long time. So whenever you feel like that, all that means is that you have evolved. If you got to a point where you're super comfortable and then things are happening and you have that sense of not being fulfilled anymore, that's a big red flag, all right? That means that you have evolved as an entrepreneur and now you need to look for something bigger, all right? Not necessarily bigger in terms of industry or monetary gains or anything, but just something bigger to you. If it's an impact that you want to create in the world, if it's something that you want to do around your community, just something that fulfills you, right? Looking for that fulfillment it goes hand in hand with the evolution of oneself. And the self-discovery, personal growth. If you've read anything on personal growth, you know that purpose is one of the biggest things that drives any entrepreneur's actions. And at the end of the day, if we're not growing, we're dying. So ask yourself the question, how big am I playing? Okay? It's not enough that you got to this point. It's not enough that you took the first step and you actually took a leap to bet on yourself and you became an entrepreneur and then crushed it. It's not enough. The thing is to continue on. The thing is to continue evolving and continue, especially if you don't have that sense of fulfillment within you anymore. How big are you playing? So think about what your ideal life looks like. And that's going to be your own blueprint, your own version of your ideal life. This is not really something that you can go on and ask people about, hey, what should my ideal life look like? No, this is something that you have to go through a process of self-discovery. Sit with yourself, take some time, journal about it, scratch out some ideas, keep whatever makes sense, discard whatever doesn't, and then figure out what your ideal life looks like. And then ask yourself the question, how big am I playing in this? How big am I, trying to conquer my own self? How big am I trying to conquer my own dreams? How big are you playing in your health? How big are you playing in your wealth? How big are you playing in your relationships? How big are you playing in your professional career? How big are you playing in the impact that you want to make with people, with your community, in the world? So think about that. We only get one shot in this lifetime. To me, that really says it all. We get one shot in this lifetime to make it real, right? To make it count, to make an impact, to leave a mark, to make a dent, however you want to call it. But we get one shot. How big are you playing with your life? How big are you playing with your skills, with the abilities and the gifts that you have as a human being? How big are you playing? And are you really making a difference? Not necessarily in people's lives, but in your own. Are you making a difference in your own life? All right, so if you've been at it for a while and the question comes up whether or not you're doing enough, you feel like you should be a lot further ahead, you're probably playing a smaller game than you could be. Okay? Think about that, sit with it for a minute, give it some, attention, because it really requires attention, and have an honest and real conversation with yourself. How big am I playing in this life, and how can I play this role to my fullest, right? Sleep on that for a night. I guarantee you there's gonna be a couple of thoughts there that you were not expecting to find. If you like the video, if you like the content that we're putting out there for you guys every single week, make sure that you like it, that you subscribe, and you share it with people. Stay focused, you got this.